Sometimes, no matter how hard you try, you just can't transform evil into good. Case in point, British child killer Jon Venables is back in the news. Apparently, even though the UK's prison system has invested some £5 million into his rehabilitation, Venables remains a monster. And even though he's been convicted of yet more heinous crimes, don't expect this particular monster to lose any of his state-sanctioned privileges, including a secret identity. Who can forget the story of James Bulger, the 2-year-old who was snatched during a shopping trip in Merseyside, England, by a pair of 10-year-olds, Jon Venables and Robert Thompson. That grainy image captured on closed-circuit TV of little Jamie being led out the shopping mall by Venables to his impending doom continues to haunt us all some 24 years later. Venables and Thompson would be charged and convicted of torturing and murdering Bulger. Jamie endured so many injuries to his tiny body that even the coroner was unable to determine which injury proved to be the fatal blow. Venables and Thompson were supposed to be imprisoned for a very long time, but in 1999, the European Commission on Human Rights somehow found that the duo had been denied a fair trial and fair sentencing. That's right, a left-leaning Human Rights Commission was going to bat for trash that had tortured and murdered a toddler based on a technicality. The interference by this kangaroo court put the wheels in motion to release Venables and Thompson in 2001. Not only that, but the killers won an unprecedented court order granting them anonymity for the rest of their miserable lives. And so it was when they were released from prison, they had new secret identities. It was kind of like the witness protection program, except in reverse, as the bad guys were the ones being protected. Weird. It is rumored that Thompson now lives in either Canada or Australia. He's managed to stay off the radar, but Venables, or whatever his name is these days, well, he just keeps getting into trouble. There was a drunken street fight, there was possession of cocaine, oh, and possession and distribution of child pornography. Lovely. He got 2 years in the slammer for that bust, but he was released in 2013, and yes, his state-sanctioned anonymity remains intact. Actually, he was given a second secret identity in case his first one had been compromised. But clearly he hasn't learned his lesson, because recently Venables was convicted yet again on more child porn charges. Jamie's heartbroken mother, Denise, has slammed the left-leaning do-gooders running the UK prison service for, quote, covering up a vile, perverted psychopath, end quote. And Jamie's father, Ralph, has remarked, you can't rewire evil, noting that it is time to finally strip Venables of his anonymity. But naturally, at some point, Venables will be released to prey on other innocent victims. It's what he does. Yet now that Venables is an adult, surely the time has come to honor the wishes of Ralph Bulger and strip Venables of his anonymity. How can anyone make a case for giving the worst of the worst the kid gloves treatment and these special privileges? How can anyone advocate that such a predator is deserving of endless second chances? And with more than $10 million going into the rehabilitation of this killer who continues to offend and reoffend, just where is the ROI, the return on investment? This individual is a parasite in more ways than one, but apparently some see nothing wrong in how the Bulger case has unfolded. Consider Deborah Orr's recent column in The Guardian entitled, "Society Did Right by James Bulger's Killers." She actually seems to be sympathetic toward Venables, noting that, quote, maybe Venables is less able to close the door on his past precisely because his guilt and shame are greater, end quote. Wow, that's a new one. But hypothetical question time. Would an oh-so-forgiving liberal like Deborah Orr be so clinically detached if the victim had been her own child? I really wonder. And although this is a British story, the folly of embracing the left's hug-a-thug mentality has wide-reaching ramifications. In other words, how does that old line go again about old dogs, new tricks? For the Rebel.Media, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Hey folks, The Rebel has an all-new fall lineup. Please visit therebel.media/shows and check it out.